how did Elon Musk become a savage in business? You know what I'm talking about. He can be the tweets, savagely firing people, ruthlessly winning. Well, his childhood story in this biography was nothing short of savage. Elon grew up in South Africa in the 80s, a violent time, apartheid, and according to his brother Kimbal, they lived in fear of the whites, the white people.
And so the level of violence was just extraordinary. Walking home from school, you're in fear all the time, mostly of white people, not of black people. That's just the nature of the day.
But Musk was a book nerd, emotionally awkward. He has Asperger's, a lack of empathy and social cues, which made him a constant target.
I was sitting next to Elon, and these guys come up to him, 4 or 5 guys, and they just start beating him senseless with their fists. There's nothing I can do to help. I just have to sit and watch this. And they had the intention to beat him to death. And it was just awful. It's just the most awful thing to witness. My brother's face was unrecognizable. It was just a swollen lumps of someone that had been almost beaten to death. Yeah, that's just South Africa in the 80s, man. It's just so brutal.
Elon was hospitalized and out of school for a week. He had serious injuries, but the real pain came when Elon returned from the hospital. Errol Musk, his father, who was a real piece of something, sided with Elon's attackers. He said Elon called the boy stupid right after the boy's father ended his own life. So every time I thought, why did Elon tweet that? He can't help it. He never could. He didn't have the empathy. It's the Asperger's. Elon was forced to stand there for an hour, disfigured, while his father hurled insults at him. Almost half a century later, Errol told Isaacson, the biographer, Elon had this tendency to call people stupid. How could I possibly blame that child? And that's the ironic part. It's hard to blame Elon's bully, just like it's hard to blame Elon after hearing about their fathers. So Errol sends his son to Veld School, a survival camp that the biography makes out to be like something straight out of Lord of the Flies. The kids were given small rations of food and water, which they were encouraged to fight over. At the end of the first week, they were divided into 2 groups and told to attack each other. Elon was beat up multiple times and lost 10 pounds. This is so sad. Now, here's the worst part. Errol says, their experiences with me would have made Veld School quite tame, adding that violence was simply part of the learning experience in South Africa. Okay, now that's scary, and his father was very, very scary. Elon once said, you have no idea about how bad almost every crime you can possibly think of he has done. Almost every evil thing you could possibly think of he has done. Now, here's Elon's mother to sort of confirm the type of guy he was.
I was beaten up, but the thing is, and you know there was a saying in South Africa, when you get divorced you stop falling in the shower. When I was married, I was told about 3 times a day that I'm boring and stupid and, you know, and ugly, and if I protested then I got beaten up. So I definitely never protested that, but then in your mind you're saying, I can't be that ugly and I can't be that, you know, I can't be that stupid. Now, I was a model and had a Bachelor of Science degree already, but I could be boring.
Errol said he wanted to raise Elon with streetwise autocracy, basically justifying raising Elon to be a savage dictator because the world was savage, proudly adding, Elon would later apply that same stern autocracy to himself and others. From everything I read and watched, his father was a monster. He later fathered children with his stepdaughter, Elon's stepsister, which would make Elon's new niece and nephew also his stepsister and brother, right? That's extremely weird. And the part of this story that I hate most is he was right. Elon learned to channel that darkness and fight back against the bullies physically, and he learned how to be ruthless in business.
Young people globally want to be like Elon Musk. What's your advice to them?
I think that probably they shouldn't want to be.
You?
I think it sounds better than it is. There's definitely, it could be worse for sure, but it's, I'm not sure I want to be me.
There's no doubt that, in my mind at least, his savage environment prepared him for savagely changing how the world will produce cars and explore space. But at what cost?